My name is...
I was born in the Soviet Union, and actually my both parents played chess because they met through like a competition. So actually it's almost a tradition for me to continue. I started when I was 5. I became the European Union champion when I was 14, like in my group age, and then like when I was 16 there was no more Soviet Union anymore, and so I played in the World Championship, and I won the World Championship when I was at the age of 16, and then I could maybe to take this decision to become a professional chess player. And so then I won a lot of major tournaments, but I think like my biggest accomplishment was to win in the European Championship. Like the world title always eluded me. I made 3 times the quarterfinal, but it's the dream still, which I couldn't accomplish and might never do this also. It was mostly my father who was very strict, so I had to study a lot. So when you're a kid, all you want is to play, and I was studying chess 6 to 8 hours a day. So it was. So actually, I'm living my childhood now when I'm at 35. Actually, in chess, quite often you would need a coach because then, like, the knowledge is quite complex, and it's there you need to know a lot of things. So you learn through years. And when I was a kid, I had different coaches, so I could progress. And I actually found it rather interesting to accept the same model of training in poker. So I asked my friend Manuel Bivan, who represents the same team, Winamax. So we reproduce the same model of training in poker. So we do exercises, we analyze hands, but it's like this type of opponent, this type of player. So with this, like, what do you think of him? What is this? So it's quite interesting.
How did you get into poker?
Oh, actually, chess players like introduced me to the game, and the first tournament I ever played, I made it to the final. But probably this was like a mix of luck of the beginner and like chess player's mind who didn't want, to lose. So I really had to advance during the tournament. And then I played very little, but I always liked the game, and I was invited to a television show which invited sportsmen, show business celebrities and poker players. So I finished second in that show, and maybe Winamax, when they were building up a team, they remembered that there was a chess player, so they gave me a chance actually to become for the moment semi-poker professional, but I hope that some years later I could earn the title of poker pro. Yes, I'm still playing chess. Last World Championship I made it to the quarterfinals again, and but I think that was the point where I said to myself, I've done everything I could, so now I could dedicate myself to the poker game. So I'm studying much more, and I think I will play chess less and less, so I will probably play in a lot of poker tournaments.
So what skills transfer across from chess to poker and vice versa?
I think that both fields, chess and poker, require like enormous similar skills. So you need to concentrate for long hours, you need to have the strategical and analytical skills developed, and a lot of mathematical calculations. So even if this, but in poker you have, of course, to adapt yourself, to develop some others, like to introduce the human factor in your calculations and risk, which is not easy. And you learn as long as you play. I think both games requires a lot of learning. Like as long as I think that as long as you play, you learn, and you learn so much that at the end I always have the feeling that I don't understand anything. So I hope that I will continue to progress. Actually, I think the most difficult thing was to explain to my daughter that her mom is a player, and at the beginning it was not easy to explain to her that her mom was a chess player before, because she could only see me playing cards because she's only 4.5. So when I would go and play in tournaments, she would say to the neighbors, "Oh, mommy is out playing cards." And you know, and I was thinking that it's like I played chess my whole life, and so I had all these trophies to explain to her that they come from the chess tournaments. So it's also a paradox, because we're an adults but we're playing for a living, so it was not easy to explain it. But she likes cards, so she likes chess, so I think she's going probably to continue this tradition. And my mom and my dad, they play games, so my husband plays. Just like we are probably born to be players.
Do you get many poker players trying to challenge you to compete?
Actually, I think poker players, they like to make bets of any sort. So of course, actually, like the first one to ask me about it was Elki, because he has a friend with whom he plays chess on the internet. So he said, "Oh, Mira, you have to teach me things so I would like beat him easily." And then I found out that actually all of the team members, Winamax team members, they play chess like on the amateur level, and they would always try to ask me like, "Okay, if we take these pieces off the board, are you going to beat us? And okay, can you beat us in 20 seconds?" So we like it's not in my nature, like first of all, to play chess for money or to make prop bets. But for example, I could take a bet where I might have maybe 30 seconds and you can have as much time as you want, because I still think that I could win this game. So it's like it's more of a challenge. I don't like the bet side, but so yes, and I also sometimes give the simultaneous exhibitions, so it's when I play against many of opponents. So we might think about this, me against the team, and yeah, some other poker players.
And would you take the challenge of anyone, such as like Tom Dwan or anyone? Would you be interested if putting a challenge out there for anyone?
I might accept the challenge if it would be just not for myself but for a good cause, so I don't really care, then I'm up to any challenge. So I've heard actually that a lot of elite poker players, they like to play chess. Even Gus Hansen, I think he plays chess, so if it could serve something else, then of course, why not? I think it's interesting.
Which game do you prefer?
I would say now definitely poker, because I find the kid in me, which enjoyed the game very much without a lot of pressure. But now that I'm becoming probably more and more professional, now I feel a lot of pressure when playing the World Series, for example. And poker also helped me to play chess differently. I take more risks, so sometimes I gamble in chess, which was absolutely like not possible before. So it helped me to find my other self in both games, so chess, poker, poker and chess.